afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Trading the Close. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at VerifiedInvesting.com. Big sell day on Wall Street. Why is it selling today? All you have to do is look at interest rates. Interest rates continue to surge higher. We're near that 4.25% level on the 10-year yield. And again, why is this happening? Well, partially a strong U.S. economy, but also more so fear over the U.S. debt and the fact that none of the candidates for president are even going to go within a 10-foot pole length of dealing with the debt, which means it's going up, 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 and away. And again, eventually other people, other countries are not going to want to buy our debt, especially for the current interest rates. They're going to force interest rates higher. The Fed will lose control of that. They're already starting to. All right, let's take a look at the markets. Follow me over here, folks. What on earth is going on here? So looking at the Dow, down 207 points, 0.5%, not too bad. Why is the Dow performing a little bit better, for instance, than the NASDAQ, down 1.36%? Because you have defensive names in the Dow. So for instance, Walmart today is up over $1 on the day, and that's a component of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, NASDAQ, as I said, down about 1.6%, 300 points. The S&P kind of in the middle of the two, down 49 points. Oil is trading flat to negative. Gold, this is the key, guys. Remember that parallel channel I found yesterday and I showed it to you? Well, guess what? Finally, we've got some level to trade against here. Nice down move. The question is, how much downside is there, especially based on the fact that the dollar is now starting to hit resistance? Remember, dollar falls, sometimes gold gets a lift. In fact, usually it does. Bitcoin, big flush today, guys. I gave you guys the downside target on Bitcoin. I said where it's going to pull back. If you're a member of Smart Money Crypto, we covered our Bitcoin short. Boom, we're out. It's already bounced up basically 1,000 from the lows. Amazing stuff. Looking at the heat map, a lot of red amongst big technology stocks. Nvidia down 3%, Apple down 2.3%. Microsoft among the stronger, down 0.5%, but Google down 1.4%. So again, even Amazon right here down 2.6%. All right, let's get into some of the nitty-gritty here in terms of charts. I want to first focus on the 10-year yield. All right, so let's go through that. Actually, first, let's take a look at the spiders. This is the S&P. You can see the first 3 quarters of the day, a lot of downside. It has bounced, as you're seeing, by the dippers ahead of some big earnings after the bell. But this is what I'm talking about right here, guys. Look at the 10-year yield. By the way, the Fed cut interest rates right here, right in here. And look at rates going higher. Isn't it counterintuitive, right? I mean, everyone's like, oh, well, the Fed is cutting interest rates, so therefore interest rates should go down. No, 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 no. The key is, what is the market telling us? The market already had priced in all of these future Fed cuts, and then all of a sudden, even though they cut 50 basis points, and even I was scratching my head, I was like, man, what do they know that's making them cut 50 basis points? Apparently nothing. Apparently nothing, because they cut it, and then the economy still looked relatively strong, and then all of a sudden you're having the market reprice how many cuts are coming in the future. In addition, so much worry over the U.S. debt and how over the next 4 years, regardless of who's president, you're going to see this huge move up in the national debt. It's probably going to go plus 40, $45 trillion. And eventually these countries that buy our debt are going to say, no way, I want 7% interest rates. I want 10% on this money if I'm going to lend it to you, because I don't expect I'm going to get paid back. And that's the kicker here, is that ultimately, how do countries get out of massive amounts of debt? They inflate their way out. They essentially print so much money that they can just pay off the debt with the printed money, but the problem is it causes massive inflation. I mean, look at Germany in the 19 teens, 20, et cetera, after World War, essentially after World War I. I mean, things like this, you have a history to go off of, and it's a very scary scenario, actually. So the markets are getting a little panicked. We'll have to see where they go. Looking at the 10-year yield here, I do have upside into this level around 4.35. And then I would expect a beginning of a move to the downside. Now, does this mean that all of a sudden the U.S. is going to stop, running up their debt? The answer is no way. They're not. We're not here. But eventually the economy is going to weaken, and that'll drive rates down, even with us still running up our national debt in the short term. Look at the dollar. The dollar actually tagged short-term resistance. Look at this beautiful wedge pattern today. This is called a retrace to the scene of the crime. Again, we could go a little higher and tag this line, but this is where you would expect a big pullback on the US dollar. All right, couple stocks in motion today. We got to be watching Tesla. Look at Tesla here. Let's go over to the big board and take a look at this chart. So one of the things that I'm seeing here is that Tesla is hanging by a thread, and it actually closed today just below this level. Now, is that considered a breakdown? It's tough. It's not confirmed, and that's the tricky thing here. It's not a confirmed breakdown, but we're going to watch and see what earnings are. In about 10 minutes, they'll be released at 4:10 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to see where it goes. If it rallies, you have resistance up here around 238 or so, 237. If it falls, you're going to have support probably right in this lower range right down here around the 205 level to the 200 even number. And if it really gets bludgeoned, then you're talking about that low here. I mean, that would be I don't see that happening. I'd be very surprised if that happens, all right? So Tesla, again, reporting earnings in just a few minutes. We do have some earnings announcements out here. TMUS, T-Mobile, which, by the way, the stock was sky high, although did pull back just a little bit. Let's take a look at the after hours here. Let's see if they're out. No, it doesn't look like anything's out yet, or maybe it's a little gyrate. Maybe it's just coming out, but nothing there at this point in time just yet. All right, also Las Vegas Sands will be out in about 4 minutes. Lam Research. Lam Research is a chip company. Not a huge chip company, but Lam Research is one to watch. It's another chip company in the AI space or so you want to pay attention to that. And then IBM at 4:10 as well will be reporting. And IBM's had quite the run. If we flip over to the IBM chart, take a look at this, guys. Look at this chart on IBM. I mean, this used to be an old school play, basically didn't go anywhere for a long, long time. Look at this. I mean, you go back to 1999, it was still trading around that same range in 2019 and 2020. Only more recently has it rallied to the upside, but now it's getting a little extended. Look at the monthly. These are monthly candles. Look at how much it's gone up from basically here in May of this year of 162 to now closing today at around 232. That's a big percentage move on that stock. All right, over to Bitcoin, guys. Gave you the keys to the castle on this one. And members of Smart Money Crypto made some good chunk of change on the short call here. Again, we got above here, didn't confirm, signal to pull back. Look at the tail right there. It touches that line and bounced. That's case in point what TA technical analysis is all about. Now, the kicker is this. Are we going to do this, or is this going to break? Right now, you always remember to respect support unless it gets broken and confirmed. So you have to assume that this is the path of least resistance right now, unless we confirm below. If we do, we go down here. But that was awesome, folks. I mean, that is exactly how I drew it up. We talked about this in the game plans over the last week, as well as trading the closes on Bitcoin right there. All right, next up, let's take a look here. Gold. Now, yesterday we had a negation of the topping tail on gold, and then what did we find? We found this beautiful parallel channel. Let me bring that up right now. Here we go. All right, so here's your parallel. I showed this to you guys yesterday. It was a discovery, actually, I just made, and it just shows that even levels of traders, like I've traded for 25 years now, since 1999, you still are always searching for that key to the castle, if you will. All right, so what do we have? We had this low here, right here it hammered, so it kind of went boom, boom, broke there, and then it came down, and in fact it touched there, down again, and then it goes up, pulls back. So you see how there's a pattern here where when it gets up to this line, it gets rejected. When it gets down to here, it gets a bounce, and even right in here. So the idea is just using the simplicity of, wow, that's a wall, short the wall right here, look for a pullback there, and so sure enough, we got that today. Now listen, TA, technical analysis, at least probability-wise, and by the way, it doesn't mean it has to happen. Remember, nothing has to happen. There's no such thing as 100% in trading and investing. But in theory, what we should see is a pullback to this line again, which is what we saw here, pulled back there. We've seen that right here. We pulled back kind of right in there, et cetera, and so on and so forth. So that's what we should see on gold. Good start to that as well. I did short some GDX, as I've mentioned, as well as a little gold. But again, I remember, I'm a swing trader. So I do have my long-term holdings long on gold. Those I'm going to just hold, give them to my kids, whatever it is. But the idea is that in the short term, I'm going to trade it. Trade it, make money. I look at trading, by the way, as income generation. It's my job. So I generate money that way by trading. That pays the bills, et cetera. Some of it goes into savings. And then I have my long-term plays, a little Bitcoin for the long-term, gold, and a few other assets as well. And long-term is for wealth building. That's for generational type stuff. All right. Let's look again, T-Mobile real quick. I just want to see if T-Mobile is out just yet. Let's bring that up on the chart. Not really. I mean, if it is out, it's not doing anything here. And let's look quickly at LVS and see if LVS is out just yet. Oh, here we got to go to the after hours. Looks like it's upticking a little bit. Let me look at T-Mobile. There we go. T-Mobile is getting a small pop here. Man, I like a swing trade short on T-Mobile. So extended on the chart here. There's a gap fill at 223. Let's see here. Well, you're at 229, so you've just blown right through that. The question is, what's a good trend line here? I wonder if we could take, maybe up here. Yeah, it's even 226. I mean, we'll have to see where it is after hours. I would not be surprised if this comes back in and goes negative. It's as extended as the chart is. But again, we'll have to watch and see. I have neither a short or a long on it myself at this point. But I'm just watching for a potential opportunity. If it were to go up quite a bit, I would absolutely be interested in shorting it. All right, Tesla, guys, again, let's just take a look at Tesla here. Ooh, Tesla getting a pop here. So it looks like maybe they reported a little early. I had 410 as a time, but nice little pop on Tesla here. Look at that. All right, so it's getting saved. We'll see where it goes in the after hours. It's not a huge move. It's about $10, just under 5%, but we'll keep an eye. And then let's look at IBM. IBM so far it doesn't look like it's out, but as of now, we'll just have to monitor it and see on the charts. All right. So listen, there's lots going on here. We had oil trading slightly lower, non-event there. Natural gas up again, still not into my short levels. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Bitcoin, we talked about. Gold. Silver pulled back today as well on the back of gold. But again, the key is going to be with silver is what is the industrial side showing and what does the dollar do? Same thing with gold. For gold, it's all about the dollar here as well as the fear factor. Okay, so keep an eye on rates as well. Rates will be the most important thing tomorrow. Tesla will be important, but not as important as rates. If rates are up, markets are going to be down. If rates are down, you might get a technical bounce in the markets. Have a great rest of your day, guys. I'll keep you posted. Tune in for the game plan tomorrow. Take care.